Shalom. Call hello Yahweh Bashem Yahushua Hashem Kadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and the elder bishops of GMS, including the elders that came before them that taught us the truth. And shalom and salutations to all the brothers that pushing the word of truth and in sincerity. The hopeful elect tabernacle of David. I'm the brother Yahshua, back with the WW3 Daily update. Shalom and salutations to you as well. And elder apostle Tahar, if you're watching this, shalom and salutations to you. Double honors. This is Tuesday, which is War and Rumors of War Day. All right, so we're going to start Matthew 24 and 6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. All right, and what we do is we go into these different versions and we pull out these alternative words. You got rumors and threats, and here you have reports. Okay, rumors, threats, reports, and news. Okay, you're going to hear the noise of battle, news of battles far away. That's rumors. So we got news, reports, threats, and rumors. Okay, so let's hear some reports and news and threats. So we're going to listen to these two small videos. They're 2 minutes apiece. This one is John Mearsheimer, right? Sounds like a small hat to me, but he has to say concerning the Russian-Ukrainian war. Okay, take it away, John.
And Joe Biden came to power, he did not change the Trump administration's policy toward Russia. You want to remember that Donald Trump in December 2017 was the president who decided to start arming the Ukrainians. Trump talked about having good relations with Russia and pulling out of NATO and so forth and so on. But in the end, he couldn't do that. The foreign policy establishment beat him back at every turn. And Republican foreign policy looked like Democratic foreign policy. So I just don't think there's not much daylight between them.
I believed from 2008 forward, when NATO said that Georgia and Ukraine would become part of, and the crisis over Ukraine broke out in February 2014. And at that point, I wrote an article in Foreign Affairs, and I also wrote an op-ed in the New York Times saying it was the NATO decision to include Ukraine in that alliance that was the main cause of the problem. And I said that if NATO, and here we're talking mainly about the United States, doubled down and continued to push to incorporate Ukraine into NATO, that it would blow up in our face. And the reason is that for the Russians, and it's not just Vladimir Putin, it's virtually every member of the Russian elite, the idea of Ukraine in NATO is an existential threat. As Bill Burns, who's now head of the CIA.
Okay, so what does all of that mean? What do we see going on here? Well, the powers that be, starting with Babylon the Great, are all up in Vlad's face, all up on his border, and trying to overtake former Soviet Union states. Okay, now what can we say that falls under, right? Well, here's what he's doing. I, that's the Most High, Yahweh, will stir up the Russians against them. Who's them? The Babylonians. The Most High, Americans are the Babylonians. Look, okay, behold, I, the Most High, will stir up the Medes against them, Babylon. Okay? Babylon with NATO and the EU, which is the beast. Okay? And we're watching that go on. How are they doing it? They're running all up in their face. So the Most High is stirring Vlad up. What is Vlad going to do? All right. He's going to quit the alliance, right? And this probably happened years ago. This man spoke of 2014. Okay. So with George H.W. Bush and George W., right? So they had an alliance back then. Now they have no alliance, and the Russians are ready to carpet bomb or to to let loose of some nukes. All right, watching it go down. We're watching the prophecies jump off of the page. All right, the Most High is doing exactly what He said He was going to do. All right, and they can't be bought off. Okay, you can't be bribed. All right, so let's watch this one. Slovakia. This is Douglas McGregor channel. Like this guy. Let's see what he has to say.
Grueling.
Yesterday, yesterday, the update was about whether our wagging the dog. It won't be for long because, again, Ukraine ain't doing shit. That's right out of the scriptures. Okay? And they're going to turn on Babylon. All right, so here we go. This is McGregor. This is 207.
Grueling and very demanding physically, very slow and incremental. But remember, this was always an economy of force measure. It was designed to grind up as many Ukrainians as possible at the lowest possible cost to the Russians. That's what's been going on in southern Ukraine. It continues. It's worked brilliantly. And Surovikin, the theater commander, has battle. But the interesting part is that the Ukrainians have taken so many casualties in the south, we're beginning to hear reports that they're on the verge of collapse. And that's why we're hearing about teenage boys aged 13, 14, 15 pressed into service, the disabled. And we're getting videos that are coming in now from Ukrainian soldiers. They disappear almost as quickly as they appear naturally, where some of the Ukrainian soldiers are saying, well, the people in Kyiv better be hopeful that the Russians get to them before we do, because they see Zelensky's government as largely remote from them. They see no evidence that anybody gives a damn about them. They're running out of food. They don't have proper clothing. They're freezing. They're taking heavy casualties. I don't think Zelensky was talking to anybody in Ukraine. I think he was basically talking to the collective West, and he spun the narrative. I think behind the scenes, he was very, very blunt. I mean, he came close to it a couple of times in his speech when he said, "You've given us a lot, but it's not enough." And you go back to that interview that was conducted by The Economist.
Right.
You listen to Zelensky, read that interview, read what Zaluzhny, the general, says. These people are at the end of their tether. And they told the people at the CIA, they told the people in the Pentagon, they told the people in the White House, if you don't come in and rescue us, we are going to be annihilated. We are not going to withstand what is coming. They're not fools. They know what's coming. We have ruling.
Right. So it's just some information, coming from the front or from the higher ups as to whatever narrative they're painting. Is it true? Is it real? Is it rumor? Is it live? Or is it Memorex? Okay. So we'll go ahead and end it right there. We get one on the way up. Whatever's going on, whether this be a wag the dog situation or whatever show they're putting on, we do know that Zelensky is an actor. He's a comedian. All right. He's playing a role. How does a clown suddenly become on the world stage, okay, okay, but in fact, Pharaoh go right up into that ambush, okay. You get that real quick, okay, because ultimately the Most High, it's his show. You can put up a deep fake and wag the dog all you want to, but ultimately this is the Most High's movie. So he's going to have the last hurrah, if you will. And just for the let me get this. There we go. In the chariot, okay. How did Moses part the Red Sea? Well, he had a hand. The Most High had his hand in it. Okay. Now, right here, okay, Moses is about to bait the trap. This is the trap. It's called an ambush. Moses is going to bait the trap. Okay, he's going to march children of Israel right into the middle of the trap, and then he's going to make the that's when the angels, the mighty ones, right, and Yahweh Shai, see Yahweh Shai right there? Same thing. This bush, there's Yahweh Shai leading the charge, and the water would represent the angels. So all the armies of the world are going to come right here, and then the angels can come out of the fourth dimension and make a quick work out of them. Let's look at the battle. Got me going long out here. I tried to make it short, but can't resist the spirit. The old apostle motivated me. The water. And I mean, we go into this a lot. Here's the scene. Okay, I just set it up. Okay. Start at 9. Second Ezra 13 and 9. Oh, start right here. Second Ezra 13 and 8. And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together were sore afraid, went down into the valley anyway. And lo, as he, who's he? As he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war, right? But only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as a weapon. They set up an ambush, and then they got shot the fuck up. Well, I'll use that as an example in another video, all right? But here it is. 2 Ezra 13 and 11. And they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath of the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight. They got caught in the strike zone of an ambush, and burned them up every one, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and smell of smoke. Okay? When Ezra saw that whole thing, he was scared. When I saw this, I was afraid. So that's basically describing the ambush that the Most High has set for the armies, right? For the armies of the world. I'll also gather all nations and bring them down into the valley. What do you mean all nations? I mean this. I will gather the armies of the world into the strike zone of an ambush, right? So that's what we're watching right now.